The Early Show continues now from the General Motors Building in New York City.
This morning in Health Watch, crying in public. A little earlier, we saw Kate McCann break down for the first time since her daughter Madeline disappeared almost 6 months ago. Why did it take so long? Jennifer Hartstein is a psychologist at St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital here in New York City. Good morning.
Good morning.
Really not tears falling down her face, tearing up a little, but people had remarked about, for someone whose child was missing, that she had been so stoic. Why the shift?
Well, I think, she's been under so much pressure and so much scrutiny that eventually it has to catch up with you. But she needs to maintain a level of stoicism. She has 2 other children, and emotions cloud your judgment. She needs to be able to focus on what's happening and how to find her daughter, and I think that keeps her focused.
And some have remarked that this even made her a suspicious character because she had been so stoic.
Sure, you'd expect a mother to cry for their child, and she's not crying for her child.
Can you tell when tears are crocodile tears or when they're real?
It's hard to tell, I think, for a lot of people. If you know the person well, you can get a sense of them. I think people may question Kate McCann because she's been so stoic and now she's tearing up a little bit, but I still think that she is showing emotion related to her child.
Let's talk about the other end of the spectrum, and that being Ellen DeGeneres. She had adopted a dog, just by virtue of background here, that she had given to her hairdresser. The adoption agency comes back, takes the dog away. But Ellen has this, what a lot of people term as a breakdown on the air over this adopted dog. What did that indicate to you?
I don't think it's just about the dog. She gave the dog to a child, had to take the dog away. It's like dangling candy in front of a baby. There's guilt there, there's responsibility.
But when people cry this much over something like that, the question always is there something else going on in their life, right? Are they close to the edge emotionally in some way?
There are people who are very emotional, and there are people who are not emotional at all, and Ellen DeGeneres may be one of those people. She admitted that she's one of those people who's more emotional than others. So who knows? She could just be one of the people who feels so badly and so passionately about things that it expresses it differently than someone else who might say it's a dog, whatever.
Let's talk about how acceptable it is to cry in public. We've seen Andre Agassi, for instance, during his retirement at the U.S. Open. He tears up. It's acceptable for sports figures to cry, right? Win or lose.
Yes, absolutely. Sports figures, men, women, it doesn't matter. They can cry anytime, and it's acceptable.
All right. What about the president crying? He cried at a Medal of Honor ceremony. Acceptable? Good?
Sure. I think it's powerful emotions. When we have a powerful emotional reaction, tears bring us back to stability.
All right, but let's project ahead. Let's say Hillary Rodham Clinton becomes the next president of the United States. Can she cry as a woman? Is that a different scenario?
It could potentially be a different scenario because there's a double standard for men and women. It's more acceptable for women to cry, but here she is, a woman in power, someone who has to be strong and be able to keep her emotions in check. That's the expectation. So it's going to be interesting to see if she becomes president, how she handles that.
Speaking of stoic, what about Connie Rice's reaction yesterday as she was attacked by a war protester, right? Right in her face.
Right.
She does nothing.
Right. I think, in crisis mode, you have to be in crisis mode. And it's hard to let emotions color you. So I think she probably just got into, how do I get out of here safely? And that was where her brain went.
Shakes her head and walks away. Very interesting. Jennifer Hartstein, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up